Hello, good morning. It's me, Travis, and welcome to the Fukeries. Wow, so it's November the 21st. Uh, and happy belated birthday to one of the most important men on the planet, me. I just made it to my 42nd birthday, and it's worth celebrating, right? They used to tell us we wouldn't make it to 21, and now I'm at 42, so I've doubled my assumed life expectancy. Uh, and we're getting through. We are getting through. Uh, as you can see, I had a shaving accident and now I have a fucking ingrown hair, fucking pimple, whatever the hell it is. Forgive my language. It's not always the most elaborate set of eloquent words. And then, oh my god, I think my lips are chapped this morning. Uh, every birthday I get wrecked, or almost every birthday I get wrecked. And by that, I mean my buddies are going to come and get me wasted. And I was sufficiently wasted yesterday night. I waited throughout the day, and it was all right because I did some cooking with mom, and I went through my regular news, and it was a regular Florida day. So, another news day, of course, but small concerns go first, such as in the state of Florida, the legalization of cannabis, marijuana, whatever they call it, has been trying to go through a process now for about 10 plus years, as far as I've been voting for the issue. Um, the first time we did it, they said that we needed a 60% or more uh, vote for it, and then the that went through, and then they were like, well, no, you need more than 60% or something, or more than 51% or something like that. So the state has been kind of playing with us for a while, and the truth is, uh, if you allow this product, it's not tobacco, it's not alcohol, so it's already a threat to those businesses. And trust me, those businesses will still have their loyal customers. It's just that the people who prefer smoking marijuana or vaping it or ingesting it some kind of way, they're gonna have their say and their choice in the matter of how they'd like to medicate themselves or even recreationally use a product. Tobacco and alcohol kill people large numbers every year. Our government really doesn't do anything about it like they do gun reform. They sit there and watch kids get killed and then brag about how they're pro-life and anti-abortion, but as soon as they get old enough, you don't want them to have food, and then you're not allowing them to be safe inside schools, movie theaters, churches, random streets. So, um, for me, with politics, it's always a lot of hypocrisy. Pardon me, I'm just trying to clean up the lens a little bit. It looks a little funny. But there's always a lot of hypocrisy that goes on with our government because these people are always claiming one thing and then doing the next, or saying this is fine for them but not for the others. It's like the thing with the mayor of New York. Our government will take Air Force One from the Saudi Arab government and then be mad at Mamdani for whatever he is in the city of New York, even if those people chose that. Um, I don't know. It's just something you see happen so often that you're like, I'm not surprised, but it's like it's getting so tired. It's like, come on, man, you guys do this with everything. It's to me. I used to hear it's what's good for the goose is good for the gander. That doesn't apply to these people. Um, and another thing too is like, you know, when politicians ask us to vote for something, I may have brought this up before. I'm not too sure, but this way I'll solidify that thought. Um, when they ask us to vote for something, it's like they're telling us what to vote for, what issues matter to us, and I'm like, that's not the way it's supposed to be. If I say my issues are housing, the cost of food, the cost of healthcare, um, the cost of a down payment for a home, whatever it may be, the cost of car insurance, whatever it may be, like those are the issues we're supposed to be voting for. I shouldn't have to worry about, oh, if we investigate a politician, they should be allowed to sue for $500,000. And this is the type of shit that's going on in our government. These guys are making legislation for their own personal benefit and their own personal lives. It has nothing to do with the people. And then the people who support them, I always say they do not care about their own benefit. They're in the middle of a high school popularity contest, and we just go along with it. Like just the national scandal, that's our whole politics right there. It doesn't have nothing to do with helping the people, improving the lives of the people. It's, oh, we're better than them and we want you to understand that because that's the way it's got to go. And, if I might say, quite frankly, it's sickening. It's like you keep telling us, hey, we need to be worried about what buildings you're going to build overseas. Is there going to be a Trump Plaza in Iridia? What oil you're chasing in Venezuela? How many people you want to deport to Liberia that aren't from Liberia? Those are not issues that are concerning me. I'm not the immigrants aren't taking nothing from me. They have never taken anything from me. The illegal ones too. They don't do shit to me. But I hear a lot of people complaining, and then all of a sudden you have a shortage of laborers. The cost of food is going up. The cost of services are going up because guess what? You're getting rid of the people who do those jobs. It doesn't take much to make this country work. It takes some cooperation. It takes some understanding. Of course, it takes some money, but you wouldn't have all that if we didn't have very loose borders in the beginning of this country. The natives sure as hell didn't have ice telling everybody to go back to whatever part of Europe they're from or wherever, Spain or whoever. So, like I said, what's good for the goose is good for the gander, I feel. But that's not the way they look at it. They say, oh, we can break the laws and we can do all these atrocious things to get to where we want, and we can use up the labor and treat them bad, and it's fine up until they say, hey, stop treating us bad, stop mistreating us, stop making us second class citizens, and we work hard or harder than the other people. This 2 and 3 tiered system where it's like, oh, the top, the middle, the lowest, and then you have the immigrants. That's not cool. And it's like it just shows that hey, once you're done with our services and our labor and our dedication and our blood, sweat, and tears, whatever the hell it is, whatever sacrifices we have to make, you can just throw it out the window once you get what you want. And I think that's fucking horrible. It's an ungrateful system, and they've been doing this for like I don't know 400 or 500 years now. This is how they get down, and they, you know who they is. It's not all of they, but some of they. um, they're putting a kind of uh, understanding into their supporters, their families, their friends. They're putting this understanding that uh, certain rules, certain things just don't apply to them, and they're allowed to have whatever they want. They can have their cake and eat it too, just for about everything. And then they make up these fake problems. Like they don't have real problems. They don't have real issues. This wasn't an issue up until somebody said they wanted their rights to be respected, or they wanted to be paid fairly, or they wanted to marry somebody from their country instead of this one. It's and the truth is, they've said it before on the other side too. They say, hey, if we're not going to get votes if all these people are foreign, we're not going to have a say. And I'm like, what do you mean we're? We are all Americans when we're here. We're all trying to vote for our benefit. But these people have you divided up trying to vote for if one side is going to go extinct or not, or are we going to be replaced? And it gets me upset because it's like nobody wants to replace you. Nobody wants to be you. Everybody just wants the same shot at being successful or just simply living, a basic ass life. Trust me, I feel like that. Like I don't want to be a millionaire or a billionaire. I understand the exploitation that comes with that. I understand the stress that comes with that because I don't see not one billionaire happy right now. They're always fucking miserable trying to make everybody's day more miserable. These are grown, rich, sadistic pieces of shit who get up in the morning and they say, guess what I'm going to do? And I've already said this too. They're going to get up and I say, hey, I need to fuck up somebody's day today in a grand style. Let me take away your rights. Let me shut down your child care. Let me deport your sister and your uncle. Even if they're U.S. citizens, go ahead and send them away. Well, they'll come back, you know? And I hope all these people that are getting uh, detained as U.S. citizens, I hope y'all sue for billions. I hope y'all take them to the fucking coffers, okay? Bury those motherfuckers, okay? Shit. You earn your U.S. citizenship. Most of these people couldn't pass the U.S. citizenship tests that are arresting these people. And then you have a bunch of the ICE agents. They're all a bunch of former fucking January Sixers and other felons and criminals getting jobs to detain law-abiding citizens, whether they're undocumented or documented or legal residents, whatever it may be. So that's always a horrible situation. And I get depressed about it every day because I know what it's like to come here as an immigrant and you don't have papers and you got to overstay your visa and you're trying to find work, you're trying to keep a place to stay for you or your kids, and then you have somebody else trying to make some paperwork up so that they can tell you you can't have something. All the while, this country has advertised coming to this country and you can work hard and you can achieve something. That's fucking false advertising. That's what it is at this point. You can't tell me no. All right, then when people come here and they spend thousands or hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars, and then all of a sudden you say, hey, you know what? Fuck your property. Fuck whatever rights you have. We're going to deport you. And if you built a business, if you have kids here, we're going to give them the social services. And some one of these people or these, who knows, one of these adoption places or something, they might take your kid and mistreat them anyway. And I've heard stories like that where these kids are getting separated from their families and placed in even worse treatment than they were, before it. And I can't tell you how heartbreaking it sounds like every time you see, a little kid getting picked up from school and these fuckers are there to snatch away from their parents. You know how hard that is psychologically, traumatizing that is to a child to be torn away from their mother? Here's an unrelated story, and I don't mean to trivialize what goes on with that, but there's one of my favorite movies as a kid I saw was Orca. Now, Orca is about a killer whale and its family that gets taken and killed, I believe, by some fishing ship or a whaling ship. And the gentleman is on the whaling ship. He knows which killer whale he's looking for. And the killer whale every so often takes a look at him, and you see the eye as you're watching the film. And anyway, towards the end of this movie, the killer whale takes his tail, fluke or whatever you call it, and he launches that bastard onto the Arctic ice. And I believe that was the end of the movie. He kills whoever hurt his family. And I always loved that movie because, now when I see people doing this to actual human beings, like human beings doing it to other human beings, I hope there's a revenge for them like that too. I really do. And the thing is, when you do this to people, whether it's over in Palestine, you're killing people, you're destroying families, like literally wiping them off the face of the earth and leaving a couple people left behind, or you're deporting somebody from here and leaving somebody left behind, or whatever it is, you're creating future enemies because of the injustice you're doing to these people. And like I said, a lot of them are following the rules. A lot of them are making their appointments. A lot of them are trying to do it the right way. But just out of hatred and bigotry, they're going after these people. And they have a sick, sadistic smile about it sometimes. Sometimes they're just so righteous about it. And I'm like, how could you be like that? Like, you went to school with some of these people. You're the same age group as some of these people. You might have even partied with some of these people. And I look at all these I don't know, man. I don't know what to call them. To me, they're subhuman. I know they said that about us a couple times, but they are the true subhumans because I don't think human beings would treat each other like that. Especially ones that claim this Bible and all this bullshit. I swear they're always the ones who do the worst things. And I say this is why y'all need religion, because the shit that y'all do, you do need to be forgiven for, because that's horrible shit. And the thing is, though, to continue to do wrong and keep asking for forgiveness, I don't know if you do or don't, or you feel justified in your hate, but that's some of the worst ways to practice your religion. All right. Uh, I don't know, but like I said, religious people, they don't have the answers. They have a lot of excuses that they make for their deities. So even when something horrible is going on and they're separating kids and families and they're not being loving of their neighbors or anything like that or following any of the commandments, they're fine. They're justified in their action. And they've been doing that since before they came to this country. It doesn't matter what religion. They all use it as a way to justify some horrible shit, whether it's pedophilia, whether it's rape, whether it's killing off a bunch of other people, whether it's lying to others by making up shit. Uh, I, I, I think it's one of the biggest pollutants in the human mind is religion. It causes some of the worst problems and creates some of the worst people. And I feel like every religion is inherently narcissistic because what it does is it tells people that they are better than the others. And I know I've probably gone over this in a video or two before, but it's fucking stupid. The next thing, I'm still upset with Trinidad and Venezuela and the United States and their situation. We don't need to be going to war with these people for U.S. drug addicts. It's the poverty in the United States that creates the situation where these people get themselves hooked on drugs and alcohol. Stop blaming other people for problems created by your economics, by your social welfare programs, or lack thereof. And a lot of the problems created in America is because of a lack of empathy. Everybody feels that they can be tough and I always use the phrase they used to give me, bring themselves up by their bootstraps, but it's as somebody else once said, it's rugged individualism for the rest of us and socialism for the rich and those who are they have privilege. They get socialism. They get $1 trillion tax write-offs. They don't reinvest into the community, and we are end up footing the bill all the time. This Epstein Memorial Ballroom they're building on the one side of the White House, we're going to be paying to maintain that. We're going to be paying for the security. We're going to be paying for the whatever else they got to do to that ballroom for the rest of the time that it's there. All right, and that is also built right on top of some bunker or something like that, where in case there's a serious situation, all the leaders of whoever or all their friends, all the inner circle is going to go under that bunker in case there's some war they launch on the United States. And when he was saying the enemy within, that's projection. He is the fucking enemy within. Him and his goons, it don't matter if it's Miller or the Federal Reserve guy or the Supreme Court justices who kiss ass and pander to whatever they've been bribed to pander to. Like, this is your country. It's corrupt. We're a banana republic already. All right, I'm not a political scholar, but I've understand these things at this point. I'm not any kind of scholar. I'm please. I'm not DeGrasse Tyson. I don't have any college education. I'm just trying to understand this shit like everybody else. But um, we're headed down a fucking slippery slope that we've been sliding down for the last 10 years. From the time this fucker went down the escalator, the U.S. was going down. All right, when your last presidency ends in a pandemic and an insurrection, that's clearly signs. And it wasn't even the side opposed to him doing it. It was the side for him doing it. Like, he was already in power. He didn't have to have that happen. Like, there's a better way to do that. There's a smarter way to do what he wanted to do. But instead, he made a big show about it, because that's what it is when you're an egotistical narcissist. You have to make all the attention drawn to you. All right, and you can hear when he talks about certain things, like he'll be like, oh, this had bigger ratings and this had. He's thinking about getting attention to draw marketing, to draw attention to sales, to draw attention to his resorts and his hotels and his properties. Like, I feel like this is a Stockholm syndrome America is in with this person, because it's like they keep abusing you. And because you're here and this is all you know, you won't let go of it. You feel like this is, hey, they're abusing me, but this is all I know and I think I love them. You got to stop having these bad relationships with politicians and the government as a whole. Like, it's not meant to function like that. Like, it's we the people, not them, the oligarchs, or them, the rich people. Like, people who have money are trying to keep their money. And they keep their money by making people who don't have money work towards their agendas and their goals. And I've known this forever. Every job I've worked at, and if you're working for somebody else, you're working towards whatever they want to do. So if you're working for Walmart, you're working for Walmart's goal. If you're working for Home Depot, you're working for Home Depot's goals, or the owner thereof, or whatever. So if their goals are to support a political party that saves them trillions of dollars every year, or every couple of years, or every 10 years, that has nothing to do with paying you a living wage or enough to have money left over at the end of your paycheck to save or to invest in your own business or goals. They don't care. They're telling you you have to sacrifice, you have to struggle, when they maybe just got it off the strength from their parents, or they got it from some settlement, or maybe they just had the right privileges and had the rights to borrow money, or they knew the right person. So it's not like other people don't try. Because even if you made $100,000 a year and you worked 20 years, that's not $1 billion. And making $100,000 in a year is not easy. I can only imagine what you have to go through to make $100,000 in a year. I've never made that. I've maybe got a little 45K, a little 50 grand once or twice. I've never been a big earner, probably because I'm not. I don't have the go-getter attitude anymore. I don't believe that working hard gets you anywhere. It gets you a little bit more struggle, and it gets you some more property they can take when you don't have nothing, or you get very sick. And if you get very sick in this country, this freaking healthcare system is garbage. It is garbage. It has all the qualifications. It has all the medical instruments. It has all the technology, but the healthcare system is just garbage. It's predatory on the American citizens. It's predatory on the residents. It's predatory on the visitors. All right, if you go to Canada or Mexico right now, I think they take care of you. Relatively simple, relatively inexpensively. But our country, if you get sick, it's pretty much you're sick for the rest of your life with something. Um, Myself, I had this broken wrist for something like 6, 7 months, 8 months, and the doctor just had me going to take X-rays, and he would look at my hand and be like, "Oh, well, it's getting better," and they collect whatever money from my insurance, and then I pay my premium, and they didn't do anything. They just took an X-ray, and they gave me a little casting and every couple of visits, and then I went with the therapy. The therapy was like something they could literally just been on a video like how we are and say, "Hey, you got to do this. Go get you a ball. Go move your hand like this," and thank God my hand is giving me some kind of movement now, but the accident it's permanently damaged, and I'm like, there's nothing they can do about it, but they're still taking my money. If they could just be honest, but they always say they don't know because they have to treat every case like an individual. But at this point in the history, we have some good ideas about human anatomy and the skeletal structure and how things heal. And trust me, they have even better ways to make you better, but they won't do it. depending on what your level of insurance coverage is. Um, yeah, so this country, I don't know if it's a pyramid scheme or if it's just a big scam, but there's all kinds of horrible shit going on. And I live in one of these states where they were basically trying to gerrymander the governor. His name is Ron DeSantis, and he's trying to gerrymander the state so that the state gets more seats and some representation in the government. The same as Texas and California were doing, but Texas and California, things switched up for them because Texas had to not do it. They got shut down trying to redistrict. California, I think they got the okay. Um, and sometimes this is how you see which laws have better provisions in place to make certain adjustments when need be. And the thing is, we shouldn't even need be because we should be playing fair. You know how I say scouts honor? Like, there's no honor amongst these people because there's no honor amongst thieves at this point in history. And a lot of these politicians are just blatant thieves. They're here to get what they can out of the government. And I'll go ahead and be bold and say all sides of it want money out the government because they need it to function. But how much do you need to function? And how can you blatantly rob taxpayers and then tell them that they can't get food stamps or they can't get health care, or they can't get child care or they can't get a break on their house taxes for the year? And then the next thing too with property taxes, we need property taxes to take care of the roads and the streets and the garbage. And if they got to spray some mosquito spray or something like that, or the kids need a crossing guard, I don't know what property taxes pay for. Maybe they pay for a variety of things, but we need those. You can't have people telling us, "Oh, cut out the property taxes." All right, back in the day, back whenever it was, they said, "Hey, we need to pay this so that we can pay for these other things," and we all agreed to it, and it was fine. Now, just don't make the property taxes so ridiculous. Look, if you have a $450,000, $500,000 house or less, you should not be paying more than $1,000, maybe $1,500 in property taxes for the year. And if they are going to charge you that much, hey, charge me $25 a month so it's not so bad by the time it gets down to that time to pay it. And you have elderly people who are on a fixed income. Why? I think they should be exempt from paying property taxes, although they benefit from the services generated by the property taxes as well. They need trash pickup. All right. They need the fire department to come out to the house if something's going on. All right. They need the police to patrol every so often. All right. Like I said, there's very good things that property taxes pay for. We need that. Um, Cup of coffee in the morning. Oh yeah. As you know, I'm a big wrestling fan, so I'm always gonna do something that has to do with uh, wrestling. But anyways, I hope you guys' days are going on very well, and I'd like to know what you got going on today. It doesn't matter what you got going on today. Um, but anyways, it's Friday. I hope you have a happy Friday. I'm trying to make some more videos every day so that we can have some civil discourse, and you don't have to be Republican or Democrat or even involved in politics or involved in, you like comics or video games, whatever, whoever you are. If you want to have some conversations with me, leave a comment, feel free to. This is kind of my therapy lately because I think that people are thinking things, but they're afraid to say them or they don't know how to articulate themselves well enough. I'm not saying I know how to, but I'm trying because as I get older, I don't want to lose the valuable speech that I've worked so hard to acquire and the understanding. And it's because it's like you learn all this stuff and then all of a sudden it's like you're not using it. Like, how many words did they make you look up in the dictionary and then write down 5 times and then write a sentence with it in there in school? They used to make me do that. And I'm like, damn, I never use these words. Like, I never say the word bureaucracy, but I know it means something, right? Just, sometimes I want to use these words. So, this is a big reason I'm trying to do a podcast with my simple ass. And then the next thing is it's going to be Thanksgiving. So maybe we'll do a little episode on Thanksgiving. We'll talk about the Native Americans and the Pilgrims and how that scene has progressed. And hopefully, we'll be able to achieve some more understanding about the world. And also, keep your eyes peeled to the news, keep your eyes peeled for election information. If you're not registered to vote wherever you live, go get registered to vote, go get your ID. Um, Go talk to your friends and family, let them know that we gotta vote to impeach whoever need to be gone because we can do better. And I mean both sides can do better. If you got a good candidate, it's gonna show. But if you got somebody that's gotta force this garbage down your throat and hit you every week with a rally like it's a church service trying to reinforce the bullshit, we gotta do better than that. Because if somebody ranting and raving nonsensically and full with hate and bigotry is what's getting through, we need to do a different kind of rally. We got to do a different kind of reinforcement. We got to do a different kind of, um, I guess what it is articulate our ideas and how it would benefit everybody versus things that are just focused on certain demographics. So I think that's what we have to do as a country. But they're gonna tell us what they think anyway and what they want to do. And my whole idea is, before we get to voting, let's us get together and vote on what we want to vote for. Like, so if they're telling us about war and drilling for oil, that doesn't concern us. We're not going to make money off of the energy sector. That's for them. They need to focus on us first and not these big businesses and corporations, not foreign companies and foreign governments. Like, that's fine. Okay, they can do some of that stuff, but it's we the people first. All right, because even when you hear America first, they're not talking about every American. They're just talking about the ones they like. So we the people first, spoken of in the Constitution, and even the Constitution that needs some work too, because you know what, the people who wrote the Constitution that said that every man is born equal and freedom and da 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 da, they was owning slaves. So even though there's amendments, it needs to be made clearly understandable. All right, and I think other countries have adopted new constitutions as they've gotten, older in their history. So I think the U.S. is just trying to stay anti-progressive in so many things, but also that these words in their constitution enable a lot of uncertainties that they benefit from, because when a statement isn't engraved in stone, so to say, you can't clarify what it means. So it's I don't know if the word is ambiguous, but it's like, if freedom of speech means this, but it doesn't mean that, is it protected?